But first, now on The Factor, a 9-year-old student at Cron Elementary School in Spring suspended after eating that marijuana gummy last week. Mom tells me her child had to be picked up from school on Thursday because of how sick she was.
The school called me and they said that you need to get to the school immediately because Amaya threw up. You need to come and pick her up. So I picked her up. We came home and I did what, of course, any mother would do. I just tried to nurse her back to health. I gave her as much as I could of Pedialyte, Tylenol, crackers, because I thought it was a 24-hour virus.
At that point, you had been told nothing about by the school, about what may have occurred or transpired.
Not at all, no. They only told me that she threw up in class and there was a lot of it. That was the only information that I received. But when I got her, she came home and, she was asleep for at least 4 hours. She just was in a deep sleep, which was unlike her, even with the virus, to go to sleep and be in such a deep sleep for so long. So much so that I had to wake her up. And when I nursed her back to health, sort of. So Friday comes around and she wakes up and she's still not feeling well. She's like, I don't want to go to school. I don't feel well, but school is important to me. We have tests coming up. So I said, well, you're not throwing up. Can we just see if you can make it through the day? She says, yes, Mama, we can try. So the day goes by, nothing, no phone call from the school, not even from the nurse. So I assume her day went well. She come home, she looks normal. I said, how was your day? And she said, it was okay. It wasn't until 5:30 Friday when I received a phone call from the principal. 5 o'clock on a Friday evening was very weird to me. So I answered it and she immediately says, I'm calling to talk to you about Amaya's symptoms from Thursday. She went home and threw up at school, right? I said, yes, ma'am. And I proceeded to give her the symptoms of what she had. So, okay, well, I have officer so-and-so here. He's with me. And the reason that we're calling you is because Amaya took some or ate some THC edible candy. Oh, I didn't know this. This was all new to me. And apparently it was new to them because they had no idea as well. And she was just calling to verify her symptoms because she wanted to make sure that she actually ate it. Well, I said, yes, those were her symptoms. She said, well, it does sound like she ate it. So what I'm calling for is to let you know that since she did eat that on campus, now these were her words at the time. She said that we're going to have to expel her she'll have a 3-day expulsion with DEAP schooling afterwards. At the time, we didn't know how long the DEAP, she said that will be determined later. And
okay, but let's stop right there. Your daughter gets candy laced with THC from some other child at the school.
Right.
But then the school principal calls you to tell you your child will be expelled.
Absolutely.
Now, how does that make sense?
I was trying to make it make sense when I was on the phone with her and the officer, and I couldn't make it make sense for myself. Yeah, so even sitting there as we were discussing, she was just telling me her disciplinary action that she needed to take for Amaya. She said, I have to do this. I have to do a disciplinary action. I say, why? My question was why? Why do you have to? And she said, because she ate the candy. And per code of conduct, if you eat it, you have to have a consequence or, some sort of disciplinary action. I said, well,
and Angela, we would assume your daughter didn't know that, and what would a 9-year-old know about THC and drugs, that she's eating candy laced with drugs?
Absolutely. Well, that's where I went first. I was like, but I gave the school the benefit of the doubt, and I said, well, let me talk to Amaya. Let me get her account of what happened, because I can say that she didn't know, but I need to hear her and see her and talk with her and see, her reaction, her response, and how this happened. And that's when I knew she had no idea what she was eating, when she ate it. It was given to her by a friend, and it could have been given to another student, but Amaya was the one that ended up with it. And she did eat it in the bathroom, Isaiah. And I'm going to tell you this. She ate it in there because her teacher doesn't allow candy, outside candy or inside candy, in the classroom. She was honest enough to say, Mom, I wanted that piece of candy right then. And I went in the bathroom and I ate it. I didn't know anything else about whatever was on it. It was a piece of sour candy rope.
Now, you also wanted to verify that your daughter had drugs in her system, so you took her to a minor emergency room and you had a toxicology test or a drug test done. And what were the results?
We went Friday after the phone call with the principal, because that was at this point the best thing to do after I contacted CPS. We went to the urgent care. Urgent care did a urinalysis on her. It came back they walked back in within a minute. She's positive. And, I have the paperwork. She's positive for marijuana. And it was a list of things, but marijuana was the only one that she was positive for.
And how does that leave you feeling as a mother, knowing somehow your child got marijuana in her system at 9 years old?
At 9, I have a mix of emotions. I'm upset mainly by the way that the school is treating this. I am fearful of what this could do to her in the future. Like, yeah, we're adults, adult, you can your body is, done developing or whatever the case is. Her reaction from that, who knows what the future holds as far as her health wise. It's just a mix of emotions. I mean, some people say she knows, and it's just so much going on and so much. I have just a mix of emotions, but right now the main one is anger.
The way the school district or the school has treated your daughter. Now, they went from expulsion to now suspension for a day.
Absolutely. I went to the school today to speak with the principal because, like I said, I never had a meeting with her. She didn't even request a meeting. I gave her until 10 a.m. today to call me just to come in so I could speak with her personally about the situation. She never called. So I just went to the school and I spoke with her and I said, well, the first thing I want to ask is she expelled or is she suspended? Because I know the difference as well as everyone else, but I can only go by what she said. And she said expelled over the phone. But when I got there today, she said I didn't say that. I said suspended for 3 days with DAP initially, and then I changed it to 1 day suspension. Okay, I won't go back and forth. I didn't go back and forth. You want to change it? That's fine. As long as she's not expelled, I'm okay. But that's what the initial thing she said the consequence was going to be.
So how's your daughter doing now?
She's much better. Like she's very active, is what I can say. She's kind of bouncing around. She's more than normal. Was complaining of stomach aches, but we kind of got past that. She's been eating better. She's doing better than Thursday. Thursday, she had me very, very scared because I did not know what was wrong with her.
We'll have more of this when we come back on The Factor Uncensored. Stay with us. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We are talking to the mother of a 9-year-old student at Cron Elementary School in Spring, who at one point was expelled after eating a marijuana-laced gummy bear. Now, her mom says she didn't know it was tainted and says the way the school handled the entire situation is totally unprofessional.
Yeah, that's the thing that we're at right now, because even when I went there today, there was no remorse, none. The principal was basically like, I still don't know if she knew that it was laced with THC or not. You know, there's no remorse. There was still a consequence of her suspension. And I even questioned that. I said, well, what is she suspended for at this point? She said, because she ate the candy, and our policy states that she should not eat from other children, or they shouldn't combine food from, outside of the school. And I said, okay, so the consequence for that and the appropriate level of, I guess, discipline would be a suspension. And she said, yes, for Maya, yes. I said, oh, why for her? She said, well, we needed to investigate this anyway, so I feel like suspension would be better while we are investigating. I said, okay, well, so it's not necessarily because she ate the candy from another student. She said, no, it is. I said, well, okay, one point, and I just wanted to make this to her. I said, in February 14th of this year, 2022, I was asked by the teacher, or told that we could bring Valentine's Day cards with treats attached, and they were going to have a party and they were going to pass them out in class. Well, okay, I spent about $25 on treats. I did not have to take them to the office first. Amaya took them to school and passed them out among her friends, and when she came home, she had a bag full of treats from 20 other children. So it's okay to do that, but now mine is being punished for eating a piece of THC candy that her friend gave her today or Thursday.
That she did not know about.
That she did not. I use the word unknowingly because that is in the code of conduct. My daughter unknowingly, let's put that in there, because everyone wants to say she knew. No, unknowingly ate a piece of candy laced with THC. So yeah, I am highly, highly upset.
Well, we are reaching out to the school district to get an answer and a response. And of course, we want to wish you and your daughter the best, Angela. Thank you so much for joining us here on The Factor.
And as we promised, here's that statement from Klein ISD. An investigation is underway regarding an incident involving a student bringing a prohibited substance to school and providing it to another student. At least one student appears to have intentionally ingested that substance. Now, school administrators contacted all involved families to inform them of the incident, and student discipline in accordance with the Student Code of Conduct is pending.